problem number... Class, let's continue answering our handouts for job order costing. Let's go to problem number 4. Okay, problem number 4. Short problem. Okay, Alvin Company has under-applied overhead of 45,000 for the year. Before disposition of under-applied overhead, selected year-end balances from its accounting records were meron kang sales, cost of goods sold, materials, working process, and finished goods. Under its cost accounting system, over or under-applied overhead is assigned to appropriate inventories and cost of goods sold based on year-end balances. In its year-end income statement, the company should report cost of goods sold of... Alright, so for number 4 class, actually ito yung application of our journal entry number 8. Okay? So again, during the year, whenever nag-i-incur ka ng actual overhead, i-charge mo yun sa OH control. Okay? Pero yung charge to WIP, okay, OH applied yun, normal costing yun. And then December 31, i-close natin yung dalawa. Okay? Again, kapag yung difference is immaterial or insignificant, cost of goods sold yan. Pag yung difference is material or significant, allocate natin to WIP, FG, and cost of goods sold. Okay? Now class, for number 4, ano tingin mo dyan? Is it immaterial or material? Material yan. Kasi sabi dyan sa problem, under its cost accounting system, over under applied overhead is assigned to appropriate inventories and cost of goods sold based on year-end balances. Ito yun. Ito yung ibig sabihin niya. Okay? Now class, ingat ka din kasi nakalagay dyan under applied. Pag sinabing under applied, ano kaya class ibig sabihin nun? Pag under applied, yung OH applied natin, ibig sabihin is less than OH control. Tama lang? Okay. So ang technique dito class, mag-journalize tayo para mas madali nating maintindihan, okay? So, debit OH applied, ito kasi yung closing entry. Debit OH applied, credit OH control. So, in this case, mas mababa si... Tama ba? Mas mababa si OH applied. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, debit OH applied, credit OH control, yung difference dito natin nalagay. Does that make sense? Okay? How much yung difference? 45,000. Yung difference, allocate natin into WIP, FG, and cost of goods sold. Alright? So, ganyan yung entry natin. Okay? So, ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Meron akong... In the problem, meron tayong WIP, okay, FG and cost of goods sold. Yung balance ng WIP natin is 54,000. Nakita niyan? 54,000. Yung FG natin is 90. And then cost of goods sold natin is 720,000. So add natin yung tatlo na yan to get the denominator. 54,000 plus 90. 54 plus 90 plus 720, you get 864,000. This is the total. Okay? Now, meron tayong 45,000 na under-applied. Okay, so ano gagawin natin dyan, class? 45,000 times 45,000 times 54 over 864, yun yung sa WIP natin. Okay? So allocate lang natin. 45,000 times 54 divided by 864, okay, you get 2812.5. Okay? 45,000 times 90 over 864, you get 4687.5. And then 45,000 plus or times 720 divided by 864, you get 37,500. Okay, so class dito ka mag-iingat. Ano gagawin mo dyan? Do you add or minus? Addition or deduction yan? Kaya mas maganda kung may journal entry ka. Okay? As you notice, yung difference natin is a debit. Okay? Pag debit, ibig sabihin, since yung tatlo na yan, normal balance na is a debit, add natin yan. Alright? And then yung tanong dito, class, how much daw yung cost of goods sold? 720,000 plus 37,500, you get 757,500. 757,500, letter C. Okay? So, magkakamali ka lang dito because of carelessness. Okay? Una, tingnan mo muna, under-applied ba or over-applied? Okay? Pag under-applied, ibig sabihin, mababa yung OH applied natin. Pag over-applied, mas mataas naman yung OH applied natin. Again, yung technique, para hindi ka magkamali, i-journalize mo. Debit OH applied, credit OH control. Since under-applied tayo, yung different debit natin yung difference. Okay? Now, inallocate natin, okay, using their balances, and then ito yung critical dyan. I-add mo ba or i-minus mo? I-add natin kasi nga, debit. Okay? So, we add cost of goods sold. Answer natin is letter C, 757,500. Okay? Okay, isa pa. Number 5. At the end of the fiscal year, Leveling Company had the following account balances. Over-applied overhead. Kapag sinabing over-applied, mas mataas yung OH applied natin. Tama? Okay. Cost of goods sold, 980. Work in process, 38. Finished goods, 82. If the most common treatment of assigning overhead was used, the final balance in cost of goods sold would have been, so class, pag sinabing most common treatment, iyan din yung immaterial or insignificant. So write it down, iyan din yung ibang tawag dyan. Ha? Pag most common treatment, okay, normally kasi charge sa cost of goods sold yung difference. Okay? Yan yung normal treatment. Alright, so gagawin natin dyan, class, I-journal entry ko siya. Debit OH applied, credit OH control. So sabi dyan, over-applied. So ibig sabihin yung difference ko nandito sa credit side. Okay? And lahat ng difference yan is charged to cost of goods sold. Now, yung unadjusted cost of goods sold natin, meron tayo sa problem, which is 980,000. And then, yung difference natin, credit natin sa cost of goods sold. Pag nag-credit ka ng cost of goods sold, nababawasan yung cost of goods sold natin. So, ibig sabihin, minus mo yung 6,000. 6,000 kasi yun yung over-applied overhead. 980 minus 6,000, 974,000. This is our adjusted cost of goods sold, letter C. Letter C. Okay. So, madali lang siya. Ingat ka lang. Baka sa pagiging careless mo, dun ka pa magkamali sa problems 4 and 5. Right? Now, down to our last two problems for job order costing. Now, for job order costing, ang nagpapakomplicate dito, class, is whenever merong spoiled units and defective units. Makikita nyo, sa number 6, it's about spoiled units. Number 7 naman, defective units. Okay. So, explain natin yan. So, ano ibig sabihin mo ng spoiled units and defective units? Okay. So, let's say, class, nagmamanufacture tayo ng specialized or personalized na calculator. Okay? So, we're in si customer, pwede siyang mamili ng color ng calculator, pwede niyang ipalagay yung name niya. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, it's a job order costing. Tama? Kasi personalized eh. Hindi natin pwedeng i-mass produce basta-basta lang. Okay. So, ang tawag sa calculator niyan, pag manufacture natin, nabenta natin sa customer, ang tawag dito, good units. Okay? Good units yan. Now, when you say spoiled units, okay, pag sinabi mong spoiled units, ibig sabihin, class, hindi natin siya mabebenta, cannot be sold, okay, at original price. Cannot be sold at original price. For example, ako nagmamanufacture ako ng personalized calculator. Ngayon, binebenta ko to for 500 pesos, okay, per unit. Now, let's say nagkaroon ng problem yung calcu habang minamanufacture siya, okay? Naging spoiled unit. Hindi ko siya mabebenta at 500. Baka mabenta ko na lang siya, let's say, 400 or 300. Ang tawag natin doon is spoiled units. Okay? So, for example, nagka-problema sa buttons, or sa battery, or sa screen, or whatever, spoiled units ang tawag natin dyan. Okay? Tandaan mo, class, ang spoiled units is no longer good units. No longer good units. Okay? Take note, ha? Spoiled units are no longer good units. Again, pag sinabi kong good units, nabebenta mo siya at original selling price. Sa illustration natin, 500 pesos. Okay? Now, class, ito tatandaan mo sa spoiled units. Yung spoilage natin can be normal or abnormal. Okay? Can be normal or abnormal. So, ano yung difference na yan? Pag sinabing normal, class, within expectation. Okay? Pag sinabing abnormal, outside of your expectation. For example, on the average, every month, gumagawa ako ng 100 units of personalized calculator. 100. And on the average, siguro mga 5% nun, nagiging spoiled units. Okay? Yung 5% na yun, ang tawag doon, normal spoilage. Tanda mo yun, ha? Within expectation. On the average, historically, 5% na ginagawa ko every month, nagiging spoiled units. Ngayon, what if anong nangyari? Ang na-spoil, so instead of 5, di ba 5 unit, 5% of 100 is 5. Okay? Instead of 5, ang na-spoil is 7 units. Okay? Yung 2, ang tawag natin doon, abnormal spoilage. Gets? Pag within expectation, normal spoilage. Pag outside of your expectation, abnormal spoilage. Yun yung difference nila. Okay, dito muna tayo sa abnormal. Yung abnormal, since outside of our expectation yan, okay, ang charge natin dyan, class, is loss. Diretso loss yan. Tanda mo yun, diretso loss. Now, kapag normal naman, may dalawang klase pa yan. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na normal specific or normal common. Okay, normal specific or normal common. Sir, ano yung difference yan? Pag sinabi, class, na normal specific, this is due to, okay, exacting specifications from customers. Okay? Due to exacting specifications from customers. Ano ibig sabihin nun? For example, class, yung customer ko, ang sabi niya, ay, gusto kong 0, yung pwedeng isang 0, okay? And then may dalawang 0 na button, and then meron tatlong 0 na button. Okay? Let's say, ang binebenta ko lang, yung buttons ko, dalawa lang. Isang 0 and dalawang 0. Si customer gusto niyang palagyan ng isa pa. Okay? Isang pindot lang, tatlong zeros na. Meron ganun na calculus, di ba? Ang tawag natin doon is due to exacting specifications from customer. May request si customer. Okay? So, yung gagasusin mo for that, and then because of that customer, consider natin na spoiled units, okay? I-charge natin yung class to work in process. Okay? In this case, since specifications from customers yan, charge yan to the customer. Alright? Pag normal specific. Okay? Charge natin sa WIP yan. Okay. Sir, ano naman yung normal common? Pag sinabing normal common, class, this is due to internal failure. Okay? For example, yung paggawa ko ng calculator, may machine akong ginagamit. Let's say every month, nagkakaroon ng problem sa machine. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng breakdown yung machine. Ang tawag natin doon, internal failure. Okay? Pag internal failure, we charge to all units. So again, sa example natin, nag-manufacture ako ng 100 units per month. Pagka internal failure, okay, normal common, i-charge ko yan sa lahat ng units. Paano mo i-charge sa lahat ng units yan, sir? I-charge natin yan sa OH control. Okay? So, dito natin. To summarize, pag sinabi natin spoiled units, ibig sabihin, yung units na yan, hindi natin mabibenta at original selling price. Okay? Mas mababa sa original selling price. Tatlong klase yan. Normal specific. Pag normal specific, because of the request from customer, charge mo sa WIP. Okay? Pag due to internal failure, normal common, charge mo sa OH control. Okay? Pag naman abnormal, since outside of our expectation yan, charge mo sa loss. Alright. Now, ito yung pinaka-critical dito, class. Ano yung effect niyan sa unit cost? Okay? Ano yung effect niyan sa unit cost? Balik tayo dito. Sabi ko kanina, class, sa start ng lecture natin, unit cost is equal to WIP. Okay, work in process over number of good units yan. Okay, hindi ko muna nilagay kanina yung good units kasi ngayon nyo lang na-encounter yung good units. Okay? So, ulitin ko, WIP over number of good units, yung denominator. Okay. Ngayong class, since isa-isayin natin, normal specific is charged to WIP. Tataas yung numerator natin. Does that make sense? Ibig sabihin, kapag normal specific, tataas yung unit cost natin. Alright? So, makes sense yun. Because, sabi ko dito, pag normal specific, china-charge natin sa customer. So, ibig sabihin, pag may 20% markup tayo, yung basis ng markup natin is yung mas mataas na WIP. Therefore, mas mataas yung selling price na isi-charge natin kay customer. Does that make sense? Kaya, charge to customers. Now, pag normal common, take note, ang charge natin is OH control. Yung OH control, hindi siya nakaka-affect ng unit cost natin based on the formula. Therefore, kapag normal common, no change in the unit cost. No effect. Also, pagka abnormal, okay, pagka normal, we charge this to loss and wala namang loss dito sa formula natin. It means this is no effect then. Alright? Okay. Yun yung spoiled units. Ngayon, i-differentiate natin siya, class, sa defective units. Yung defective units naman, class, kung ito cannot be sold at original selling price, can be sold at original selling price. Okay? Yung difference niya, can be sold. No longer good units, pag defective units, still good units. Pero, mag-i-incur tayo na tinatawag na rework costs. Okay? So, for example, class, balik tayo sa illustration natin. Binibenta ko to for 500 pesos per unit. Okay? Ngayon, nagkaroon ng problem. Yung isang button nasira. Okay? Ngayon, pwede ko siyang i-fix. Okay? Nag-incur ako ng tinatawag na rework cost. Na-fix ko siya. Naging good units ulit siya. Pwede ko siyang ibenta ulit for 500. Nakuha mo yun? Ulitin ko ha. Kapag spoiled units, very important kasi yung class. Kapag spoiled units, hindi mo na siya mabibenta at 500 kahit ano gawin mo. Okay? Pag defective units, pag nag-incur ka ng rework cost, mabibenta mo ulit siya at original selling price. Therefore, defective units are still good units after incurring rework costs. Okay? Sir, bakit important yun? Bakit mo ine-emphasize, sir, yung no longer good units and still good units? Because of this denominator. Tandaan mo, yung denominator natin dito, since good units yan, kasama dyan si defective units. Okay? Later, apply natin yan. Tingnan natin. Yung defective units natin, or reworked units, dalawang klase ang class. Pwedeng normal, pwedeng abnormal. Okay? Yung normal natin, pwedeng normal specific or normal common. Okay? Pag normal specific, it's due to exacting specifications from customers. I-charge natin to customer, therefore, charge niya sa WIP. Okay? If normal common naman, it's because of internal failure, i-charge natin sa lahat ng units. Paano mo i-charge sa lahat ng units yan? I-charge mo to OH control. Kapag abnormal naman, charge natin to loss. Uy, sir, kamukha lang pala. Yes, kamukha lang yan. Kapag normal specific, okay, tataas yung unit cost natin. Kapag normal common, walang effect because ang charge mo si OH control. Take note, ang nakaka-affect ng unit cost natin is OH applied. Hindi naman yung OH control, kaya walang effect yan. Gets? Pag loss naman, wala ring effect yan. Alright, so apply natin yung class. Pwede ko nang i-erase to. Let's apply that sa problems 6 and 7. Okay, problems 6 and 7. Erase ko muna para may space tayo sa solution natin. Okay, so let's read the given. Actually, meron tayong 3 cases here. Case number 1, normal specific. The spoilage loss is attributable to exacting specifications or requests from customer. Case number 2, normal common. The spoilage loss is attributable to all jobs. Okay. And then case number 3, abnormal. The spoilage loss is treated as abnormal. Jordan Inc. Company's Job 007 manufactured 13,750 units that was completed in August at unit cost presented as follows. Direct materials 50, direct labor 45, and overhead 40. Add nga natin last class yan. 50 plus 45 plus 45, write it down, 140. 140 yan yung unit cost natin. Okay? So lagyan natin dito, unit cost 140. Final inspection of job 007 disclosed 1,250 spoiled units which were sold for 37,500. Tama ba class kanti? Total units, ilan? 13,750, tama? Minus the spoiled units na 1,250. Okay, 13,750 minus 1,250, you get 12,500. Yung 12,500 na yan, class, ito yung good units natin. Good units. Pag sinabi natin good units, nabebenta natin at original selling price. Okay? Now, case 1. Normal specific. The spoilage loss is attributable to exacting specifications. Compute natin yung unit cost for each scenario or for each case. Okay? Ngayon, para mas malinaw, maglagay tayo ng journal entries. Okay? Case 1. Doon muna tayo sa good units, class. Ha? So, good units. Ito yung good units mo, 12,500. Tama? Good units, 12,500 times 140. Okay? 12,500 times 140, which is your unit cost. Nakuha mo yung 1,750,000. Yes. Okay. Journal entry number 1 natin. Okay. Is debit WIP, credit various accounts. Various accounts na lang kasi iyan yung raw materials, iyan yung salaries expense, overhead, etc. Various accounts na lang, okay? Para mas madali. Debit WIP, credit various accounts, 1,750,000. Okay? So, ulitin ko, ito yung journal entry natin for the good units. Okay? Lagay ko dito, good units. So, that is 12,500 times 140. 12,500 times 140, 1,750,000. Okay? And then, journalize natin class yung spoiled units naman. Sa case 1, sabi natin dyan, kapag exacting specifications, pag normal specific, i-charge mo sa WIP. Okay? So, lagyan natin. 12,500 times, 1,250 pala. 1,250 times 140, make sure you get 175,000. Second entry natin, debit WIP, credit various accounts, 175,000. So far, so good. Ito yung spoiled units natin. Okay? And then, journal entry number 3. Take note, class, na nabenta natin actually yung spoiled units at net realizable value. How much? Nakita mo dyan, class, yung final inspection, disclose 1,250 spoiled units which were sold for 37,500. Pag nabenta mo, debit cash, credit, WIP. Okay? Debit cash, credit, WIP, 37,500. Ayan. Yan yung journal entries natin. Yung class, paano natin kukumpute yung unit cost? Again, yung unit cost, paano yung formula niyan? Unit cost is equal to WIP over number of good units. Okay? Number of good units. Therefore, unit cost natin for case 1 is WIP. Ano yung WIP natin? 1,750. Okay? Dahan-dahanin ko, class, para makasunod kayo. 1,750. And then may debit tayo na 175. And then may credit tayo na 37,500, yung NRV, over, class, ano yung denominator natin? Is it 13,750 or 12,500? 12,500 kasi number of good units. Okay? 12,500. Sige nga, class, compute natin yung unit cost. So, 1,750 plus 175 minus 37,500 divided by 12,500, did you get 151? Okay. Unit cost natin is 151. Take note na from 140, naging 151 siya. Tumaas siya. Okay? Na yun, no? Tataas yung unit cost mo. And because ang sabi natin dyan, i-charge natin to customers. So let's say ang markup natin, class, is 20% above cost. Okay? So instead of 140 times 1.2 yung i-charge mo kay customer na selling price, 151 times 1.2 na. Mas mataas na i-charge mo sa kanya. Because siya naman yung nag-request eh. Exacting specifications from customers. Right? Let's go to case 1 pa, no? Let's go to case 2. Okay, case 2. Journal entry number 1. Okay, syempre yun pa rin yan. Debit WIP, credit various accounts, right? 1,750,000. Yun yung good units natin. Journal entry number 2, doon tayo sa spoiled units. Kapag normal common, isi-charge natin yan sa OH control. Take note, hindi natin isi-charge sa OH applied. Therefore, wala siyang effect sa unit cost. Debit OH control, credit various accounts, 175,000. Okay? Journal entry number 3, nabenta natin. Debit cash, credit OH control. Credit mo sa OH control yan. How much? 37,500. Alright. So, compute natin yung unit cost. Unit cost natin is, again, WIP over number of good units. Yung WIP natin, ito lang. Tama ba, class? Wala tayong WIP dito sa journal entries 2 and 3. So yung WIP natin is 1,750 over good units na 12,500. Okay, computing natin, class, 1,750,000 divide by 12,500. Uy, 140 pa rin. Okay, so 140. Ibig sabihin, original unit cost natin, 140. After na na-spoil na, 140 pa rin. Kaya dito, nakalagay sa atin, unit cost natin, no change. Got it? Okay, bakit siya walang change? Kasi sa OH control mo chinarge. Tama? Kaya wala siyang change. Case number 3. Okay, journal entry number 1, syempre, WIP pa rin yan. Credit various accounts, 1,750,000. Journal entry number 2, sabi dyan, class, abnormal. Tama? So, abnormal, it means i-charge natin siya sa loss. Again, pag abnormal, inefficient na yung production natin. Kasi, pag, for example ko kanina, 100 units yung pinoproduce ko, every month, 5 yung nasa-spoil. Okay? Pag 7 yung na-spoil, yung dalawa doon, abnormal. Okay? Ibig sabihin, inefficient na sa part natin. Kaya si-charge natin sa loss. Right? Debit loss, credit various accounts, 175,000. Debit cash, credit loss, 37,500. Okay? So, ulit. Debit WIP, credit various accounts, 1,750. Debit loss, credit various accounts, 175. Debit cash, credit loss, 37.5. Therefore, class, pag kinumpute natin yung unit cost natin, WIP natin is 1,750 over good units na 12.5. We get here, ayun pa rin, 1,750 divided by 12.5, 140. Because kapag charge natin sa loss, no change in the unit cost. Okay? Answers, 151, 140, and 140. Okay, so ganun lang. Sige. So last item, tignan natin, class, kung ano yung difference sa treatment kapag defective units. Just to recap, kapag defective units, okay, kapag nag-incur tayo ng rework cost, back to original yung product natin. Mabibenta natin at original selling price. Okay, so, erase natin to. Okay, so meron tayo, erase natin lahat yan. And then, i-compare natin later kung ano yung difference na. Okay, so let's read the given. Meron tayong 3 cases here, normal specific, normal common, and abnormal. During August, Dana Inc. incurred the following cost for job 007, 450 drum sets or 450 units. Okay? Materials, labor, overhead, add nga natin yung, class, 42,500 plus 65,250 plus 78,300. Ulit, 42,500 plus 65,250 plus 78,300. Nakuha niyo yung 186,050. Okay? So lagay ko dito. We're answering number 7, ha? Total cost, 186,050. Huwag niya, inad ko lang. Now, 450 units to yan. 450 drum sets. Pag dinivide natin sa 450, okay, divided by 450, 413.44. So, round na 2 decimal places. 413.44. Tama ba, class? Ito yung unit cost natin. Remember this, ha? Unit cost mo is 413.44. 45 units of drum sets were found to be defective and the company had to incur the following to remedy the said defects. Okay. Pag sinabing defective and remedy the said defects, ibig sabihin yung cost na yung, class, ito yung rework cost natin. Okay? Meron ka materials, labor, and, sir, walang overhead na nakalagay. I-assume ba natin na may overhead whenever na may rework cost? Yes, of course. Laging ganun. Ha? So, in this case, kailangan natin malaman how much yung overhead. Sabi ko kanina, pag silent yung problem, yung overhead natin is based on direct labor cost. Okay? So, tingnan natin, class, yung sa taas. Di ba meron kang overhead na 78,300? Tama? 78,300, i-divide nga natin yung, class, dun sa direct labor, 65,250. Nakuha nyo ba yung 120%? Yes, yes. So, yung rework cost natin, lagay ko na lang, rework. Meron tayong materials, 13,550. Okay? Labor, 15,250. Yung overhead natin, again, 120% nakuha natin, di ba? So, 1.2 times 15,250, you get 18,300. Rework cost, add natin yung tatlo na yan. 18,300 plus 15,250 plus 13,550, 47,100. 47,100. Got it? Now, class, ano yung total units natin dito? 450. Tama ba? 450. Ano yung good units natin dito? Okay. Do you deduct 45? Okay. 450 minus 45 is 405. Tama? So, ang tanong ko dito, class, ilan yung good units natin? Is it 45 or 405? Who says, is it 450 or 405? Who says 450? Who says 405? Answer natin, kapag defective units, kapag nag-incur tayo ng rework cost, good units natin, still 450. Okay? Kapag ito, spoiled units, yung good units natin, 405 lang. 450 minus 45. Gets? Yun yung difference nila. Okay, so compute na natin yung unit cost. Let's go to scenario number 1 or case 1. Okay, mag-journal entry pa rin tayo class para at least gets na talaga. Okay. First entry natin is yung 186050 muna. Okay, debit WIP, credit various accounts, 186050. Okay. Journal entry number 2, sabi dyan yung case 1 is normal specific, therefore charge natin sa WIP, debit WIP, credit various accounts, 47,100. Okay, so computing nga natin class yung unit cost natin. Unit cost natin is 186,050 plus 47,100 divide natin by 450. Yung denominator, iyon yung pinakamalaking difference between spoiled and defective. Kapag defective, 450 yung denominator. Kapag spoiled, 405 lang yan. Okay? Kasi meron tayong 45 na defective dito. Alright, so 186,050 plus 47,1 divided by 450, you get 518.11. 518.11. From 413.44, naging 518.11, that's an increase in unit cost. Okay? Therefore, i-charge natin yan to customer. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung price na i-charge natin kay customer. Instead of, let's say, markup natin is 20%, instead of 20% of 413, hindi. Ang i-markup mo kay customer, 20% of 518. Okay? Let's go to case 2. Case 2 natin class is normal common. Entries natin. Journal entry number 1, debit WIP, credit various accounts, 186,050. Journal entry number 2, debit OH control, credit various accounts, 47,100. Okay? Let's compute for the unit cost, 186,050. Because OH control yan, hindi naman OH applied, so walang effect sa unit cost natin yan. Divided by 450, okay? 186,050 divided by 450, that is still 413.44. Okay? Same. No change. 413.44, 413.44. Case number 3, what if abnormal naman, debit WIP, credit various accounts, 186,050. Pag abnormal, we charge to loss. Debit loss, credit various accounts, 47,1. Okay? Let's compute for the unit cost, 186,050 divided by 450. Our unit cost is still 413.44 because loss naman yan, hindi yan makaka-affect ng unit cost. Final answers, 518.11, 413.44, 413.44. Okay. So, ganun na siya. Okay, let's finish job order costing by answering our theory questions. Okay, mabilis na to class. Let's go to number 1. Theory number 1, the two types of cost accounting systems are, obviously, that's letter B, job order and process cost systems. Okay, letter B for theory number 1. Let's go to theory number 2. Two basic costing systems for assigning cost of products are job order and process. These two costing systems are usually viewed as being on opposite ends of a spectrum. The following, the fundamental criterion employed to determine whether job costing or process costing should be employed is A. Proportion of direct traceable costs, number of cost pools, type of basis used in allocating. Let's go to letter D. Answer is DOG. The nature and amount of the product or service brought to the marketplace for customer consumption. If kaya may mass produce, process costing. Okay? Similar large volume products. Pag hindi, small volume and unique or identical or unique distinct products, okay? That is for job order costing naman. Okay? DOG yung sagot natin for number 2. Alright. Let's go to number 3. Job order costing and process costing have which of the following characteristics? Let's go to DOG. For job ordering, heterogeneous products. Pag sinabing heterogeneous, hindi yung distinct or unique products. Okay? Pag process costing naman, homogeneous, letter D, and large quantities. Pag sabi mo homogeneous, similar or small volume and similar products. Okay? Yun naman yung sa process costing. Okay? Ano yung term na ginamit ko? Similar, identical. Okay? Pag job order, unique, distinct, heterogeneous. Pag process, similar, identical, homogeneous. Tama ba? Ulitin ko. Okay, tama pala. Ulitin ko. Job order, unique, distinct, heterogeneous. Pag process, similar, identical, homogeneous. Okay? Letter D. Let's go to number 4. Which of the following would be accounted for using a job order cost system? A. Production of personal computers? Nope. Pwede mo i-mass produce yan. Production of automobiles? Nope. Refining of petroleum? Construction of a new campus building? Letter D. Okay? Because hindi mo naman kaya i-mass produce yung pagtayo ng building. Okay? DOG yung sagot natin for number 4. In a job cost system, the application of overhead is usually reflected in the general ledger as an increase in. Okay, so take note class, application of factory overhead. Ibig sabihin yan, iyan yung OH applied. Kapag nag-OH applied yan, yung journal entry natin doon. Debit, WIP, credit, OH applied. Tama? Kaya sagot mo dito is letter C, work in process control. Okay? Charge na sa WIP yun. Huwag mo isasagot yung A, yung OH control. Hindi. Kasi kaya mahalaga yung journal entries. Pag nag-apply ka ng overhead, debit WIP, credit OH applied. Letter C yung sagot natin. Number 6, when a job is completed and all costs have been accumulated, the journal entry that should be made is, pag na-complete na, okay? So, pag na-complete na yan, answer natin is, dog, debit finished goods, credit work in process. Tama? Dog. Pag naman nabenta mo na, debit cost of goods sold, credit finished goods. Ganun na siya. So for number 6, it's D. Number 7, spoiled units are A. Units that cannot be economically reworked to bring them up to standard. Correct. Okay, pag spoiled units, no longer good units, so that's why letter A yan. Okay? Letter B naman, units that can be economically reworked to bring them up to standard. Yung B, defective units naman yan. Okay? So answer natin for 7 is letter A. C, the same as defective units, nope. Considered abnormal losses, nope. Let's go to number 8. Normal spoilage is defined as an acceptable production that A, arises because of special job or process. B, occurs in ongoing operations. C, is caused specifically by human error, is in excess of that which is expected. Yung number 8, normal spoilage natin is boy, okay? Occurs in ongoing operations. Yung letter D or dog, iyan yung abnormal spoilage natin. Di ba sabi ko, kapag abnormal, outside of the expectation or in excess of that which is expected, okay? So boy yung sagot natin for number 8. Let's go to number 9. Abnormal spoilage is A, spoilage that is forecasted or planned in normal spoilage yun. B, spoilage that is in excess of planned, yes. Okay, so outside of the expectation or in excess of the expectation, abnormal spoilage yun. Boy yung sagot natin for number 9. C, accounted for product cost, hindi. Debited to cost of goods sold, nope. Debited to loss. Okay, so 9 is boy. Let's go to number 10. Which of the following statements concerning spoilage is correct? The cost of abnormal spoilage is recorded as period cost. Tama, okay? Or expense. Pwedeng loss or expense. Ang tawag natin doon in MAS, that is period cost. Okay? So A is correct. B, when normal spoilage occurs because of the specification of a particular job or yung exacting specifications from customers, cost of normal loss should be capitalized to the specific job reduced by the current disposal value of the spoiled units. That's correct. Ibig sabihin, i-charge mo doon sa WIP. Okay? And then kapag nabenta mo, pag may net realizable value yun, debit cash, credit WIP. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng reduced by the current disposable value or NRV of the spoiled units. So B is also correct. Letter C, when normal spoilage is a characteristic of a given production cycle, the cost of normal loss is not charged to a specific job but will be close to OH control account. Ibig sabihin, kapag normal common naman, okay, charge to all units, ayun, OH control naman siya. Answer natin for number 10 is dog, all of the above. Number 11, which of the following statements concerning rework cost is correct? A, if the rework cost is attributable to a specific job, if it shall be capitalized to that particular job, yes. Pag sinabing capitalized to WIP, okay? A is correct. If the normal rework cost is common to all jobs, it shall be debited to manufacturing overhead control. OH control, that's correct. Boy is also correct. Letter C, if the rework cost is abnormal, it should be recorded as period cost or expense. Pag abnormal, charge that is a loss or expense. Letter C is also correct. Answer natin is dog, all of the above. And last item natin class for job order costing, let's go to number 12. When the amount of over-applied factory overhead is significant. Okay? Kapag significant, over-applied daw, di ba? So debit OH applied, credit OH control. So ibig sabihin, kung over-applied, mas mataas yung OH applied. So yung difference natin is a credit. Okay? Pag significant, i-charge mo yan to WIP, FG, and cost of goods sold. Okay? Plus, huwag mo i-charge sa materials, baka mag-allocate ka sa raw materials. Huwag ka mag-allocate kasi wala namang labor and overhead yung raw materials. Okay? Now, the entry to close overhead applied factory overhead or wala namang overhead yung materials. So dito mo lang siya i-allocate WIP, FG, and cost of goods sold. Let's go to dog, credits to cost of goods sold, finished goods, and work in process. Credit siya because over-applied overhead. Mas mataas yung debit than your credit, balancing figure is a credit. Answer natin for number 12 is dog. Okay? So, ayan. So, that's the end of our discussion for job order costing. Next meeting class, process costing naman tayo.